Hey, Adventist man. It's usually women saying it. Adventist man. Why? Because their hearts were broken by who?
By
Adventist men.
By Andrea, yeah.
So I'm saying there are marriages that God ordains that are not exactly aligned to how we expect marriage to be.
Yes.
So there are marriages that are called into mission.
There are people out there who are complaining about Adventist men and Adventist women. I'd say it's because we are not ready for each other.
In the church, we still also have this problem, and it's happening, and people are leaving the church to go outside as a solution because of their hearts being broken. While it's not really that Adventists are all Adventist men are bad, or all. Of course, you will answer for ladies, but it's because
Before Eve came, Adam was actively involved in the work that the Lord had given him.
As you're still trying to help her grow, she shouldn't have full access to your finances.
beauty is not the foundation of love.
Okay.
Yes, because if then it becomes a foundation, how many women are beautiful in the world?
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen. As if we never left, welcome to Eat. This is Rhythm and Charts. As you can see, the house is full today. We have 3 guests, as you can see. My name is Nyazane Ribe. I'm not alone. I work with my team. Don't worry. Even though you don't see them, they are here. Mr. Mandaz is at the back there. So is Mr. Trust. And we have another guest at the back. It's Bushe. Yeah. How are you guys?
We're well.
Yeah.
I am well. How are you?
Well.
I'm doing great.
I'm sorry for the mic. The exchange is very difficult, but maybe just before we get into it, man, I'll start with you. I know your name. For the one who think I don't know why I'm asking, but maybe just introduce yourself. I know you are George, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is George, and I'm happy to be here. I'm at Pure Light as a staff member right now, but my origins are in Kenya. I hope we'll have a good conversation today.
I met too, man. Can you?
All right, my name is Trumpet Ntsako. My name is Ntsako, known by the name of Trumpet, and actually original from Limpopo, currently serving at Tesda Church.
You look like someone I know, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This other that guy, it's called Chamsi. Yeah. But it's fine. I can see it's not true. You just look like him. Yeah.
All right.
And we did something very bad. You see now, they say ladies first, but it's okay. But we saved the best for the last. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fano Madaba. I am a student from Pure Light, and I'm in my 2nd year studying health.
Nice. Okay, without even wasting any time, guys, let's talk about it. We are diving into love right now. Mjolo, okay, no, Mjolo is for the street. We are diving into love right now. Maybe I'll start with you, George, man. Can you elaborate what is love in your own way and your own understanding? Also, maybe in your own experience, you know what I'm saying? Because it helps.
Love is one of those things that we can't go through life without ever considering or talking about. That's the first thing we have to all understand. We all have to consider this thing of love. There's no way you're going to go through life without considering love. It doesn't matter if you are Hitler himself. You have to at least conceptualize to some extent what love is. What does it mean to me, though? For me, it has come to mean the essence of life. Without it, because everyone is considering it, it's actually the basis of life. I don't know what the others think.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Talk to us.
All right. Love, it's an interesting subject, as my brother has already highlighted, that actually you cannot, like, everybody you have to love. It's either you love your family members, or you love your relative, or you love whoever whom you're in contact with or close by to you. And the Bible is full of this word love as well. Throughout the Bible, you see the word love appearing. And the famous verse is that God so loved the world that he gave. And you can see from that text itself that the concept of love is attached to sacrifice. Because God had to give his only begotten son. And that was a sign that he loved the world. And not only that, the Bible also make it interesting that actually love is God. Or God is love. So if you want to understand what is love, then you go back to God and he will teach us what love is. I have heard many people saying that you can't define love, and I kind of agree that you can't really define love, but I think God has already told us what love is. If you go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, the Bible tells us that love is kind.
Yeah.
Love is patient.
Yeah.
So all these things, they actually, God is trying to define to us what love is. And then in verse 6, it says that love does not rejoice in sin. So you can see that anything that you do and you call it love and it's attached to sin, therefore that is not love. It should be something else. And yeah, so I think we'll talk more about that. So let me just pass it to another speaker.
Yes, please. I really want to hear the opinion from the lady, but yeah.
So, in my definition and understanding, I would say, as Brother George and Brother Nsako have indicated, that love is the essence of life. So, without love, I believe the world will be dark and gloomy. And it then points us to the point where we now understand that love is God. You see, when the Bible says God is love, it just basically explains that, you know what, God is love himself. You know, it doesn't say God is loving. God is love. So when you have God in your life, you immediately know how to love. So that's basically, to me, what love is. And as Brother Nsako also said, he also spoke about 1 Corinthians 13, where it also speaks about love being the most important thing. When you end that whole chapter, it says, "Now abideth faith, hope, and charity. But the greatest of all these things is charity, which is love." Meaning, without love, we wouldn't be able to spread the gospel like we are doing now. We wouldn't be able to get married. We won't be able to be in this kind of interaction.
Yes,
You
yes.
see, love is selfless. True love is selfless, and that's what 1 Corinthians 13 points us to. So.
I would also just like to add, before we
Yeah.
close up that definition section, that based on everything we are saying, love is not an emotion only. It covers both the emotion part and the principle part of it. It's not just a feeling. Yes, the feeling is important, but you can't leave it at the feeling only. Because how are you going to be long suffering when it's a feeling, just a feeling? It doesn't work. So there's the mind of a person that has to decide that when it comes to this idea, say an idea of religion or an idea of marriage or an idea of a relationship, the mind goes to commit and says, I am holding on to this.
Yeah.
That perseverance is actually an aspect of now what we are defining as love.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I want to bring it home. When I bring it home, what I'm going to do is to say, maybe if you are not feeling comfortable to answer this question, you can skip. But how many relationships have you been in as a person? I'm bringing it home to the romantic relationship, the love we have for their family and all those stuff. I feel like it comes so natural, and it sometimes for some of us, if not all of us, it's kind of simple. It comes that natural. Now let's talk about the love of relationship, the romantical love. How many relationships have you been in?
Okay, I know it's a tough one for many people.
Yeah.
But I would say the ones that have made, I would rather answer the question, which ones have made the most impact in my life? And those
Okay.
are 4, where I learned very, very crucial lessons
Okay.
in my life. I'll let the others answer as well.
Yeah, anyone can just answer. How many relationships have you been in as an individual? You're a guy right now. I mean, there's no way you've been there.
Actually, I'm currently trying to be in a relationship.
Oh, you're not yet there. You're trying to learn. Yeah,
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
The rest. So let me just say it like this: I grew up well, kind of fearing to be in a relationship.
You and me both, man.
Yeah, so you can make the conclusion.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I would say I just never wanted to rush into relationships because I would want to like prepare myself for a relationship. I don't think you just immediately have that love bomb and you're like, oh, I like this person, and then you fall in love. That's not true love. Love is a plant and it takes time to grow. So to answer the question, I would say I've only been in a relationship once in my life, and hopefully that's the last one.
Ish, ish. Hey, my fellow brothers, they are moving fast. I don't think, hey, I'm sure they have been in a couple of them. Maybe one more time, Dave, we are counting, but we are not judging, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's bring it home to us Adventists, you know. There's a saying that goes around to say, in the church, I'm a guy, I will say there are no women. The women in the church are no, man, they're not make sure. And as a female, she'll end up saying, nah, man, you know what, also on my side, there are no guys. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think of that statement when someone says, there are no women in the church, or there are no guys in the church? What do you guys think of that statement? I don't know if you.
All right. Maybe to answer your question, let me start from here.
Yeah.
We have what we call love, and there's what we call infatuation.
Ach.
Now, these two statements are very, very important, or two words. Thinking Letters to Young Lovers, the first chapter, Ellen White begins by saying, I love you. And he said, how wonderful this word spoken by two young people.
Yeah.
And of course, much more if they're spoken by Jesus to us.
Ish.
And then the question that I had was, okay, how many people have I communicated and said, I love you? Then I moved from that person to another one and I said, I love you. Then I moved to a third person and I said the same words, I love you. And then after a few, whatever months, you dumped there, you are moving to another one and said, the same words, I love you. And someone said, actually, your wife who said you are the only one that, I'm not considering, I will never, you are the only one. They say that after you have maybe passed away, that she will say the same words to another man. You know what? I've never met a man like you.
Ish.
And then you move to another lady, say the same words. Actually, without you, I can't live. So, but then the question is, okay, was that really love?
Yes.
So there's what we call love and infatuation that I want us to deal with. So infatuation actually is something that it's like a counterfeit of love.
Okay.
It's not love, but there are sacrifices that can be done in it, and it will appear like what? Love, but it's not love. So the example that I can give is, Amnon. This guy it's found in the book of 2 Samuel chapter 13.
Okay.
The man he loved Tamar, as we're told by the Bible, and he was actually sick. He couldn't do anything. Like, he would sleep the whole day, and David would be like, what's going on? He's like, I love Tamar, or I want Tamar to come and cook for me. So it happened that the men were told that he loved Tamar so exceedingly. When the Bible used the word exceedingly. Then it happened that Tamar came, and then she cooked for him, and afterwards he slept with her. And after sleeping with Tamar, he hated her with the same magnitude that he had at first when he loved her. So then the question is, was that really love, or it was something else? So infatuation now, it's something that it's impulse. The foundation of infatuation, it's physical attraction.
Okay.
So I'm attracted because Tamar was beautiful. So number one is by beauty. You can see this even when you go to Samson as well. You find the Philistine woman who is very beautiful, and then he said, I love this woman. So what is the attraction? Yeah, she pleases me. She pleases me well. What is the attraction? I mean, what is the foundation of that love? It's actually physical attraction. So I don't care. It's either whether it's breast, or it's whatever the package, or its face, or its body type. If that becomes the foundation of why I love the next person, then that is not love. It's what? It's infatuation. And you can see that guy actually got sick. And this is what is happening, in the universities today, where people get sick and they can't do anything because you're in love. And that's not love. It's actually infatuation.
I'll jump right in there and also pick up a few things from the same story of Tamar. The Bible is clear. My brother here was whitewashing it a bit. The Bible is clear that he forced himself on her. It was a case of rape. Let's be honest, it was a case of rape. And this is what infatuation leads to. It leads to people exceeding their bounds while they're thinking that they are actuating or fulfilling what love is. The counterfeit actually pushes you into more and more sin. I'm talking, like I said, I've been in 4 relationships and they've taught me some things. And I can look back at some of the mistakes I made and I can clearly say, okay, here I lost the way. And it was because the principle was not true love, it was
not
infatuation.
principally.
There's also the idea that infatuation is merely the lovesick sentimentalism that exists in, puppy love of the young youth, the first impulse love, the fireworks. Yes, that is infatuation. But infatuation, like my brother was saying, is actually more than that. It can cheat you into thinking that you're actually dealing with the right, true thing. And you can be principled. It can even last longer than a few couple of weeks. You can be infatuated with somebody for over a year because you're fueling each other with the wrong vibes, So you can fuel each other with passion and passion and passion, but now eventually it will show. And like now we were saying, when it comes to the foundation of it, when things really become thick, if the foundation was wrong, the house will fall.
No other way. Yeah. Do you have anything to say on that?
Yes, I wanted to say, in actual fact, infatuation is unreasonable. It makes you to do things that you never thought you would do. So, as my brother has indicated, instead of you being attracted to the quality of the person, you are attracted to the outside. Instead of you attracted to the internal characteristics of the person, you are more attracted to the external features of the person. That's not true love, because true love is saying, I love you either way. It's saying, I love you regardless of the character defects that you have. But as for infatuation, it's like dopamine. It's like a quick pleasure pill that you just want to, satisfy yourself quickly and then get rid of it. That's why when you are infatuated, as the story that was being said, the guy then now, with the same amount of love, the love that he thought he had for Tamar, he had now hatred at the same amount, even more. So it just shows that infatuation can lead to hatred once you have been pleased with the person, after you've satisfied the pleasure.
Okay, I don't know if you guys really answered the question, but now I have a question from what you just said to say, bro, how do you now know? Because you're saying, I feel like as a person, you see someone from afar, you don't know them, you don't know their characters, but when you see them from there, it's their physical features. Things like what you're saying, I don't want to say them, man. You already say them. Like, those are the things that when you're looking at someone, attracts you before you even get to know who they really are. So, what leads one to say, what's the attraction? What should be the attraction between one and one? How do I then become attracted to my girlfriend before knowing her? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you get the question.
All right. So that leads us to actually, of course, Ellen White put this very clear that true love is attracted by qualities alone. Of course, there's other statements where she also put that we don't discard the physical, but that's not the foundation. The foundation is qualities. So then the question will be like, how do you know that this is the right person? And what qualities are you looking for in a person?
I get you. But the thing is, what I'm saying, do you get what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to push is that before you know your own qualities. Let's say as a man, you have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 principles as a guy you're looking for in a woman, right? But I'm saying, before you get to know those things, it's her physical appearance that leads you to getting to know her and then you know the qualities that you want. So I'm saying, is it wrong? Because it sounds as if it's wrong to be attracted to a woman because of her physical features. Is that wrong?
May I attempt?
Yeah,
to
yeah,
answer
please.
that? The short answer of it is no. But the longer version starts in Genesis.
Okay.
When Adam and Eve are created, when Adam is created,
go closer,
God
yeah.
realizes that, hey, there's a problem here. And then Eve shows up. And the moment Adam sees Eve, he becomes a poet, you know. And what does he see? Does he see the qualities of Eve at that point, or he's just visual? No, he's seen the qualities that are physical qualities. So it actually shows that there's space for you to appreciate what God has created in the beauty that is in another person. But then as you look at that union, you find that it comes when Adam already has something to do. And Eve is brought when Adam already has an entire job title, right? So she's made a help meet for the work Adam has to do. But now you see that is where we flip things around. Our modern Adams do not have their life's purpose in place. And they are busy being poets before they are workers. You have to be a worker first before you're a poet. That's the principle that is set there. And then later on, you see like the story of Ruth and Naomi and all these stories. You realize that there's a principle of this is what you should be doing. When you're doing it, then true life shows up. But when true love shows up, it does not ignore the beauty. There are two women who the Bible actually describes as having been very beautiful. One is alluded to, which is Eve, and the other is Sarah, Abraham's wife, Sarai at the time. To the point that Abraham was willing to say she's my sister so that other men would not fight. But you can see that God's people, the father of faith, had a stunningly beautiful woman. It's not by coincidence. God actually wants us to appreciate human beauty. How we appreciate it is the problem.
You are okay. You can come in. It's fine.
All right. So actually, what you said is, I now get the question. So beauty is not wrong. Seeing someone that's beautiful, we're not saying that it's wrong. It's not wrong. What we're saying is, beauty is not the foundation of love.
Okay.
Yes. Because if then it becomes a foundation, how many women are beautiful in the world?
Oh.
There are very many.
A lot.
And yeah, you will say this one, you're blown away. You're like, wow, you thought you have seen a beautiful woman. Wait, you meet another one. So there's a story of Isaac when he wanted a woman. And if you check, of course, he's a servant who was sent to search for a woman. But there's some things that they were looking for. But the Bible tells us that she was very fair. She was very beautiful. But the foundation, what the guy was looking for, it was qualities. I want a woman with this quality. Now, why am I saying this? Or why are we saying this? It's because in the book of Proverbs chapter 31, when the Bible talks about this virtuous woman that we're talking about, the Bible ends by saying that beauty fades.
Yay.
So if then the foundation is beauty, that beauty just know it will not last. Actually, someone cancelled me. They said to me, oh, by the way, after marrying that person, even the things that attracted you, you will no longer see it. So actually the men outside, so this is the problem of this thing. When you are outside, you desire, right?
Yeah.
But when you get it, it's now yours. That desire, for some reasons, it decreases.
Yeah.
So that beauty is too beautiful when you're outside. And you're like, if I can have this person. But when you're inside, this is now yours. It's no
Yes,
longer that attractive as it is when you're outside. So beauty, as time goes on, it fades. But what is it that remains? It's character.
Yes.
So that's why we say you need to look into the character. Of course, as he has already highlighted, we've seen that in the Bible. You don't overlook the physical appearance, because you don't want to be with someone that when you look, you're not proud of that person. Do you understand? It's like, what was I doing here? So you don't want to be in that position at the same time. However, don't use that as a foundation, because sometimes you don't even know what you're looking for until you find the right person who has good qualities. You're like, wow, This is what they wanted.
She's the one. I want to know, maybe on a surface, as a lady, do you also look for the physical appearance?
Would I also what?
Do you also look at the physical appearance of a guy as a lady? Do you look at another guy and be like, okay, no, but that's the question. In a simplest version is, do you as a woman also look at the physical appearance of a guy?
Yes, you do consider the physical appearance. Like when you see a guy who looks the way you want that person to look, and then you get closer to the person,
Yeah.
and then you see their character, you see,
Sketchy.
not what I wanted. And so that beauty fades. You get me? So for me, I would say beauty, the most important beauty that people need to look for is the beauty of character. Because then if you meet a guy, speaking from a woman's perspective, if you meet a guy who is kind or who is gentle, and maybe that's just what you wanted, who's spiritual, who's a godly guy, the physical appearance somehow, even if he was not the ideal guy that you're looking for, the physical appearance, you start looking at, the person in
start
a
making
different,
excuses for
yeah, you start making excuses, you start looking at the person in a different way, you get me? And honestly speaking, people are beautiful. Like, there's no ugly person. That's what my dad says, that every guy is handsome, every woman is beautiful. So, but people have their own standards. So as time goes by, as you're married, the beauty fades away, but then the beauty that remains is the beauty of character. And that's why people who've been 50 years in marriage, they still appreciate their wife's beauty because of the beauty that radiates from within. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I also want to add something. I think it's one of the questions that you asked in passing, but it was along the lines, why then attraction? Yes, why then attraction? Like, what is the purpose of this attraction? We were very quick to say that it is not wrong, but what I think it's good to also understand why God, in his wisdom, would allow us to get attracted. Now, looking at that first marriage, Adam had no choice but to end up with Eve. There was one woman, one man, right? And then you move on to other situations like Gomer and Hosea. Now, if you look at the Bible principles, Gomer was not marriageable. She was not meeting the standards. Right now, we would not advise you as a young man to go and marry somebody who's been a prostitute. We would not. It's not biblically clean or standard.
Yeah.
But God directs Hosea to do that for a very specific purpose. As a prophet, he's meant to show Israel something, a very particular something. And that is just one out of the many. So I'm saying there are marriages that God ordains that are not exactly aligned to how we expect marriage to be.
Yes.
So there are marriages that are called into mission. I would like to classify them as mission marriages. Not everyone is a mission marriage. If you are not called into that mission, do not call yourself into it. It is painful to do it.
Yeah.
The rest of us, we don't have soulmates in the sense that the world has it. God gives us the principles and he expects us to apply them. Now, if after I've been given all these principles, and there are how many people on this earth? 8 billion now? I don't know the number, but there are many, many human beings on this earth. Assuming half are women, how am I supposed to find my one? Do I start interviewing every one person, every first female I meet? No. That's where attraction comes into play. When you're attracted to somebody, that's God saying, inspect.
Oh, yeah.
That's God saying, inspect. So I'm attracted, I see the beauty, I'm like, I come closer to see, and then I see those principles. I do the checklist of the principles. If they're working fine, I progress. If they're not, before she even knows about it. So attractions for me are God's way of shortening the process of finding the right person, if you handle it correctly. Yeah.
No, nice. I want us to move to the other one. I have a question to say. I feel like we've answered on how to find the right partner. So I want to know, at what age can we say, okay, now at this age, maybe I can find the right partner that can now lead to marriage. At what age do you think is best to be committed to a relationship that can lead you in a marriage? Yeah.
I would say there is no specific age. I would say if you are mature enough, and there are certain things that you need to do first before you actually rush into marriage or a relationship. Like, for example, a teenager, if you're still in your teenage years, high school, it's not advised for you to be in a relationship. Or if you are even studying, because then you are being distracted from your life calling. So I'd say, in order for you, if you want to be in a relationship, you must first know what your life calling is. You must first be involved in your life calling. Like, if you are being called to be a doctor, study your degree and finish, practice it, so that when you find someone who will complement what you're actually doing. If you're a pastor studying pastoral evangelism, and you're looking for a wife, you wouldn't want to look for a wife who's not in the same mission field, because then that means you're a pastor, you're going from place to place doing mission work, and your wife is somewhere else. You get me? So you must find someone who harmonizes with your life calling. The example that was given is the example of Adam and Eve. Before Eve came, Adam was actively involved in the work that the Lord had given him. He was a farmer, basically. He was a farmer, and he was busy with naming the animals and everything else. And the Lord is the one that saw that actually this man needs a helpmeet, and he gave him Eve. So once you are actively involved in what the Lord has called you to do, the Lord is the one that gives you that person, not you go and find for yourself. So first be mature enough, first know what you are doing, be actively involved in what the Lord has called you to do, and in the fear of the Lord, if the Lord brings you a right person, then move on. That's what I would say.
From us guys, what? Because I will maybe just give you my own perspective. I feel like guys, as guys, right? It's not the age, but it's the capability of holding a family. If I'm 23, I'm telling you, if I'm 23 and I have the capacity, I can. Hey man, if I find the one, I'm going in. But I think it does align with what you're saying. To say there's not really a specific age to can say, oh, if you are 20, then you should start to find a relationship that leads to marriage. It's just maybe it varies with people, who you are, how mature you are, like she said. So yeah. But as a guy, just get the bag and, you know what I'm saying, do the thing. What do you think?
I think with regard to age, somebody said that according to physiology, you are ready when you are 15. According to people.
Yeah, I get.
And somebody said according to whatever, you are ready when you're 18, and then according to the world standard in terms of economy, you are ready when you are 22, because the assumption is that you are done with school. And then other research showed that you are ready when you are 30. And then others, they say, according to logic, actually. Why
Yeah,
should
I
you
think
look
I missed
for
that one.
But my point, but my point then is actually it's what we're looking for, as she has already highlighted, it's your readiness factors here. We're looking at emotional readiness, spiritual readiness, physical readiness, financial readiness, and mental readiness. And why are we focusing on these aspects is because of what marriage entails. So you don't want to get into marriage and you're not emotional matured, spiritual matured, and you think those things are not necessary. They are, and also financial matured. They've already highlighted with Adam being the one who was waking first, and then so you should be able. A man should be able to provide.
Yes.
So we need that maturity from you. So if you were to look into today's age, you will see that we usually finish studying maybe when you're 22, then you're like done, and then you're able to find a job. And then that's when we can say it's the right age to look for a partner.
Yeah.
Because when you do that before you know, because research shows that people who get married while they are still young, they usually end in divorce. Why? Because they did not know what they were looking for. So you discover that this is not what I was looking for, but you're already in.
Hey.
And you ketil.
Yo.
So it's good now. So when you are older a bit, then you know what you want. So that's actually the idea that is behind the concept. So I think we can also hear from.
My perspective aligns largely with all of you, except for me, I actually do have a number.
Okay.
I have a number in mind, and this number, anything below that anyone below that number should not consider marriage. Not in this day and age. And that number is 20.
20.
There is, yes.
Okay.
I'm basing 20 based on a few things. One of which is in Numbers chapter 1. Numbers chapter 1, verse 45. If you read the entire chapter, you get context. These are people, David is conscripting people for war, right? Men of war. And who does he count? He counts people only 20 years and upwards. So those are who, in biblical times, those are the people who are considered grown. You're only considered grown when you're 20 years and over. Why? Now science is telling us that, wait, your mind is not really fully settled as a man before 25.
Yes.
As a woman, maybe it would come early 20, give or take. But these are averages that psychology is giving us.
So you
right
believe
now.
that women mature faster than men?
Yes, I actually believe they do.
Okay, but continue.
But that
I have a problem with that.
That is a different discussion.
Yeah.
So it actually reads, so all that were numbered of the children of Israel by the house of their fathers from 20 years old and upward, and all that were able to go forth to war in Israel. That last line gives you something. What happens when you go to war? You have to make very hard decisions, right? When you go to war, you have, by the time you're getting enlisted in an army, you are from that day onward preparing to take life. And life is the most precious thing in the world, right? So you have to be mentally, physically, emotionally capable of taking life. And by the time you're not and you go into war, how many times are we hearing of PTSD among soldiers? Because their minds are not ready. They are not mature for war. And marriage is war when you're signing up for it. It's just a different level of war. So you have to be ready for war.
The battle.
You have to be ready for war, and you have to be 20 and over.
Yeah.
That's where I would start.
Yeah.
Anything below that, you're still a child. Grow up first.
Hey, it's a war. It's a battle.
And by the way, just to add on what he said, I also argue that if you are also new in the church, you are still a baby.
Yeah.
So that person should grow.
Yeah.
Because there's the part of emotional maturity that we speak about. So it's very, very important. I know many of us will really undermine this. So what we do is that we do love evangelism. You go out, you preach, and then you convert her, marry her.
I know a friend, but continue.
So it's not advisable. It's not advisable. Of course, yeah, we'll say experiences differs. But I also argue that actually it's God's mercy on them. He highlighted families that are not, they are recorded in the Bible, but not for our example. We need to study the context. So, of course, if someone does it, it doesn't mean that it's an example. But, of course, in God's sight, we see that a person need to grow first. You don't want to marry someone who is still a baby, either in the faith, either as he highlighted, you're below 20 or you're not ready, you're still studying, you are still trying to figure out what life is, and then you enter into a marriage, you are making a mess on your life.
It's a disaster. This question, just to pass through, let's not dwell on it. How can you help someone who's already in a relationship with an unbelief, or for us who are Adventists, who's a non-Adventist? Do you advise them to continue, or do you think they should try to come out of it? You know, but coming out may break someone's heart. But what advice can you give to a guy or a lady who is in a relationship with someone who's not an Adventist?
Okay, I would say you cannot remedy sin with sin, continuing with sin. So if you want to remedy sin, that means you have to be, you have to come out of it. So you cannot continue being in that relationship. It's very advisable for you to come out of that relationship. You have to advise the person to come out, because what will happen is the person will start pulling you to be unconverted. You start doing certain things that you never thought you would do. You start compromising. You've already compromised, and you will continue compromising, and at the end might even lose heaven because of continual compromising.
Because they say marriage is a little heaven, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But hearts will be broken. But it's a tough one.
Yeah, according to Genesis, we have seen that marriage actually is for people who have met God at least. Adam first spoke to God, talked to angels, was busy there dressing the Garden of Eden. And then Eve, when was created, of course, she was brought to Adam. So obvious, the first person she saw is God. So at least these two, they have met God, and then they are brought together by who? By God. So you don't want to maintain something that is not. The Bible says, let what God has joined together, let no one pull us out.
Yes.
Because it's who joined them?
It's God.
So, but what about when you join yourself?
Good word.
So the issue is these things are actually it has long-term effects. So it affects you in this life and the life to come. So the advice that I will give based on the Bible, in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, there were guys there who had married people who were not Jews. And they were told to say they need to return them back. And I think God was trying to make it clear, because the Bible is very clear in Deuteronomy that don't marry them. We are not called to marry them, we are called to do what? To preach. But then it's different if now you join the church with that person. Both of you are joining the church. That is different. Or if you are married. But now, if you are not married to this person and you are still figuring out life and you discover that, no, there's something wrong here, have a way of cutting it. Of course, not in a way that breaks heart. You need to talk and make it clear. And make sure that the other person understands you. Because breaking hearts, so it's not advisable.
Yeah.
So you made a mistake, you fell in love with this person, and this person is not an Adventist or is not a believer, and you want to follow what the Lord has said, but you don't know how. My advice is speak to the person. If this thing of keeping quiet, you check the person, it doesn't work. Blocking her, it doesn't work. You are hating her, and when you hate her, God will punish you for that.
True.
And that one, I'm very, very serious there. God will surely punish you. The good thing that you can do is to communicate. Okay. Make it clear. To say, you know what? This cannot continue based on 1, 2, 3.
But you don't think it's possible to convert someone to be an Adventist, to come into church, when I feel like, okay, it should be like you should fall in love with someone who's in church, okay, sharp, fade. But it happens. You fall in love with someone who's out there. Don't you think it's possible for them to convert? Is it the right English? I don't know. But you get where I'm going. So is it not possible that one can turn from their way? Because, it's either her way or mine. You know what I'm saying? So don't you think, as a man, especially for the man who's the head of the family, I feel like it might work. I don't know. But I'm just saying, in your own view, don't think it's possible that you can take her from wherever she is then into church? Maybe, yeah.
Sorry. Okay. It is, cases have been made, and there are people who've gone through that path before. If you're still on the other side before marriage, remember you can break even an engagement before the altar. There are some things that you can do before the altar. Post the marriage point, like once you say I do, you're committed. You have to move forward. But on this side of marriage, the advice biblically is to cut it off. Why are you saying that? If you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 28, Paul says a lot of things in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 about marriage. In fact, it's the chapter before that he says, I wish all would be like me, meaning celibate and to God's glory for that, not entertaining marriage. But then he says, but especially for those of you who struggle with lust, let every man have his own wife. And then he moves on and says, but such will have trouble in the flesh. What does he mean by trouble in the flesh? Simply put, marriage in itself is not promised to be a bed of roses. Even when you're aligned to the core as missionaries, even if you believe exactly the same way, you are still going to have trouble. It's promised that you're going to have trouble. So why then would you pick up more trouble? Before, like, trouble is promised.
Yeah.
So how much trouble do you
You
actually
want.
want to pick for yourself?
He went out to fetch a trouble.
Yeah, you don't do that. It's already problematic. Just deal with the problems that will come. So the advice, and realize I'm saying here the advice.
Yes.
The advice is to break. Take it or leave it. It's
up
advice.
to you.
But the thing is, trouble will come with that decision. And instead of going into these problems while you're looking at them and you're going into them and you're staring problems in your face coming and you're still going, just pull away. And I also want to add, we are talking about, Adventist versus other non-believers. And non-believers, we often think of other Christians. Sometimes it's within the church. The Adventist church has such a variety of believers. We have the extremely liberals and the extremely conservatives. If you are from these two aisles, it still might not work. The advice is still pull away. Until you align these fundamental issues, don't engage. That's where I would stand.
It's still okay.
I wanted to say, when the Bible says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, equally yoked with unbelievers, it basically means your principles and their principles might differ. So I feel like sometimes you also need to feel pity for the non-believer the person that you're in a relationship with, because let's say you are getting married to, or you're in a relationship with someone who's from another religion. For you to bring them into the church, they still need to learn about the state of the dead, the Sabbath, all these principles that we know of in the Adventist church. And it'll take time for them to adjust to that. So, which is why it's important, if you are converting someone, leave them for at least 5 years or even more, or 3 years, I don't know, depending on how fast the pace is for the person to actually become at a point where they actually understand the principles. Leave them for some time so that they can grow and see the light, and then after that's when you can issue a relationship. And as Brother George is saying, in the church as well, there are so many different groups. There are those who are very extreme, and they're extreme right, and they're extreme left as well. So imagine in the Adventist church, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm saying I'm a vegan. The other one says I am a meat eater.
Meat shower.
The house is going to have so many conflicts, you see, because it's like, I want my meat. The other one is like, no, I want my vegetables. So you're just adding more problems in your marriage. Marriage has, we are two individual people. We already have our own problems, and even out of a good marriage, there is still going to be some sort of conflict because we're in a world of sin. So now if you choose a wrong person, you are just even adding more burdens to your marriage. So I would say be equally yoked, know your principles. If you know this is what I'm going with, then, marry someone with the same mindset with you.
Actually, we just delve into something that is very, very crucial. To say, when we say unbeliever, usually, of course, you think, okay, outside you should not even think twice. But then when we come into inside, this is bringing us to this part. Have you heard the phrase where people say, hey, Adventist man? It's usually women saying it, Adventist man. Why? Because their hearts were broken by who?
By
Adventist men.
By Andrea, yeah.
So you can see that even in the church there's a what? Serious problem. And we really play with each other's hearts. That's why this trial and error does not work when it comes to this thing. Because Ellen White tells us that to trifle with hearts, it's a great sin before God. So we should avoid by all means to play with the hearts of people. So, but where I'm coming to is that this phrase of Adventist man, or man, you can say the same thing, Adventist woman. It's a known phrase which has gone all over and everybody's saying it. And some, they reach a point where they say, you know what, I'd rather leave the church and go outside because these ones who are inside are worse.
Hey.
And then the question is, are they really worse, or you went for someone who was still the project of the church? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
the church was still molding that clay.
And you are there.
We were trying to mold him and make him a better person. Then you came and you jumped in.
What do you
Now,
say?
because of that person, now you're saying all the Adventist men are the same. No. That's
were
what.
impatient.
Yeah, you were impatient. You did not wait until we are done with our project. You understand the point? So allow the person to grow. That's why I said don't marry babies as well. The person can be in the church for years, but it's still a baby. It's not matured spiritual. It means that person is not growing.
Yeah.
It's draft spiritual.
Yeah.
So you wait for that person to grow. Of course, you wait on the Lord to give you a person. So my point is, in the church, we still also have this problem, and it's happening, and people are leaving the church to go outside as a solution because of their hearts being broken. While it's not really that Adventists are all Adventist men are bad, or all, of course, you will answer for ladies, but it's because of us who don't know even what we want. The principle that we're talking about, we don't even know, and we jump into this thing, and it's just infatuation, propelling us. And as a result of that, we start leaving the church, and you are making a worse decision again. But what you can do, as my suggestion, there are books that are written. God dedicated this time for this thing because relationship matters to God.
Yeah.
Is one of the institutions. Actually, somebody argued that when you enter into a relationship, you're entering into God's territory. So since it's his territory, you need to ask him how you should handle yourself, who to look for, and all those things. So because of that, he even wrote books. He inspired, there's a counsel, you have the Bible with you, and also have the writings of Ellen White, Letters to Young Lovers, Adventist Home, Testimony to Sexual and Behavior, all these and messages to young people. They are written for us so that we don't make what? Mistakes. So my advice that I can give the audience out there is that read these books before you even consider a person. I know some, they say, no, don't read now until you are ready. Don't read when you are ready, because when you are ready,
You're ready wrongly.
Yeah, you're ready wrongly. So you need to read. So these books, they prepare you to be ready.
Before you jump
Okay,
in, I
yeah.
just want to add another perspective, and I apologize if this will be an area of conflict. But sometimes, remember when I was saying about these people who are unequally yoked in terms of religion, you say the advice is to pull apart. The reason I was being a bit soft and saying that the advice is to pull apart is because sometimes the person who's in the church is only in the church by name. Sometimes their actual match in terms of spiritual level is the person outside. That is a possibility. You have to understand that, as we are saying, there are very different groups within the Adventist church, right? And if you're not truly converted as a brother, and you want your girlfriend and wife to dress a certain way, to be on the high heels, the highest of them, accentuates all the gifts God gave her. You want other men to lust after the man. Your heart is not converted. You get?
Yeah.
Your heart is not converted.
Yeah.
So when you go out and fetch that woman who's outside, because the Adventist women inside are refusing to do that which is wrong, they're refusing to be immodest, then you cannot now say that the Adventist women are. The problem was you. So that's why the advice was pull apart. And if you insist on it, then it also tells us where you really actually stand.
As a person, as an individual.
Yeah.
I wanted to also defend myself. I'm one of the good Adventist men. So the good Adventist men are there. They are there. We are there. Maybe in conclusion, I want us to discuss just one, to say, between two partners, I'm in a relationship right now and now. Is it possible to say, because remember, in a relationship, in as much as we love each other, we're all those things, we still do have our own life outside the relationship, like our workplace, school, mean to say all those things, etc. Is it possible to say to your partner, no, this is like personal, have boundaries, like to say, it's now mine, or stay there, such information is restricted, all those things. Are there any restriction between two romantic partners? Maybe that's the best way to ask the question.
Just for clarity, are these people married or you're talking about unmarried people?
Damn. Okay, maybe let's use I don't want to get in the marriage. I feel like marriage it's one of those obvious things, man. Let's use the journey to marriage. For example, maybe someone who's now engaged. They are almost there. It's not courtship, it's engagement. Engagement and courtship is not one thing, right? It's not one, eh?
One leads to the other.
Yeah, the first one is courtship, then engagement. So let's say they're in an engagement. They both agreed that we're gonna be partners for life. Are there still such a thing as to say boundaries or restriction to such knowledge and such?
All right. I think my brother has already highlighted to say we can actually, if you can withdraw even in engagement, it means that the boundaries are still there. They still apply. Because that's why we have boundaries in courtship, is because courtship doesn't mean that this will end there. But it has to end. Courtship should lead to marriage, but not always, does not always lead to marriage. People discover because they entered there impulsively maybe, and then you discover, hey, I wasn't supposed to be here. So now imagine if the boundaries were not there and they have done things and now you want to pull back. Then it becomes a what? A problem. So now we put the boundaries. Okay, God put the boundaries, that something that is very, very clear. We know that sex before marriage is not allowed. The Bible is very clear, something that the boundaries should be there. And the boundaries also that comes to, you can decide whether you want to, somebody said, 4 years kissing her and not marrying her. So you can decide, so you can put the boundaries. Okay, we are not going to do 1, 2, 3. And then those boundaries, they protect you.
Okay, I want to take it, what you said made me, I really want, just for the sake of more information, I really want to ask you, I don't know if you guys will be willing to answer this one. Kissing, right? Kissing, it's wrong, I believe, because it leads to more than just kissing.
If you've done it, what does that mean? What does that mean for you and your relationship if you're still in that relationship? Okay. And then what does that mean with your relationship between you and God? Does it condemn your courtship to God? And my answer is, we are serving a God who's willing to redeem, who's willing to, reconstruct things. Now, the thing is, as we had discussed earlier, you cannot remedy sin with sin. Now, after you come to the point of conviction and you say this amount of physical intimacy is wrong, when the conviction comes, you stop. Now, the stopping of that physical intimacy, whatever level it was, whether it was kissing, petting, or you went all the way there,
What's
when it
petting?
stops, if it stops the relationship, then it's fine.
What's petting?
Okay, I think we call it making out, or where the hands go beyond.
okay.
Yeah,
Getting
the
that, yeah.
the hands explore.
The exploration of- yeah.
So all that, if once you come to the point of conviction and you say, okay, this was wrong of me to do, then it should stop. And once it stops, if the relationship stops, so be it.
Yeah.
If because you can get yourself in situations where you have been convicted, your person who you are doing this with is not yet convicted, then you are no longer on the same
Page.
yeah, you are unequally yoked now. Then you see, that's why it's good to start with the principles, so that you understand that if there's any level of unequal yoking, then we pull apart, even as it grows. And that's why up to the point of engagement, even up to the point of the altar, you can actually stop it. So also to add on to the question of boundaries, there are other boundaries that I believe should exist, even excluding the physical boundaries. There's still supposed to be, according to me, some level of financial independence. You should not mingle your finances so intensely before you're married.
Oh.
Because for
know
obvious
that one.
reasons. For obvious reasons. I mean, if as a man you're still building your career, you're building for your future family, and you have a lady who's having access to all these things you're trying to build, and she's still yet to learn economy, she's gonna drain you, man.
Yeah.
She's gonna drain you. And remember, you're supposed to be the provider. So as you're still trying to help her grow, she shouldn't have full access to your finances. And the finances will open up slowly over time as you become closer and closer to the wedding day. There's also a level of information that opens up slowly. Don't bombard people like on the first day you're starting to just get to know each other. You're telling them your entire past history on day one. That is trauma dumping. Please, my brothers, don't do that. The ladies will run away. Ask me, I've done it before, it doesn't work. Anyway, there's still levels of boundaries that should apply before marriage.
Marriage. Yeah, I ran away from that question very nicely. I don't think you guys will also answer to the question. Do you have any? You don't want to answer, ne?
I think he answered this.
For all of us, ne? Okay, I also retrieve. I haven't. He answered for me. Okay, I think that's it. Do you have anything? Anything you wanna add or anything you just wanna say? It's that time. Yeah.
All right, I think as we're closing, what I will say is that, of course, we have discussed, we've not exhausted. This is it's a subject that is quite deeper. We can take it one subject after another, one subject after another. But I will say just people should just do themselves favor of studying more for themselves, and also by God's grace, there's a ministry called Trumpet Ministry. It's a YouTube channel. I'm actually planning to break down this concept into pieces, where we'll talk about the issues of communication, how do you conduct courtship, like you're in a courtship, but how do you run it, and so forth. And there are other books that I actually advise people, like the book written by Gary Chapman. He wrote a book where it said things I wish I had known before I got married. It's one of the powerful books that shows you how you can actually, what you should do before you enter, even when you're in a courtship, what you should discuss. Because usually when people are in a courtship, it's more like petting and what and kissing and all those things and whatever, enjoy all those things. But now you want to discuss those things in marriage, and you find that it's too late. Example, like you want to have one child, it's your plan. but you're not discussing that. You're still enjoying each other, and then in marriage you're saying, I want one child,
a
and then she
problem.
said, I want 5. So that creates a lot of war. So Gary Chapman in his book he argues all those things to say you need to know things that you need to know before you get married. So I would say do yourself a favor, read and start, prepare yourself. And actually he said that many people are successful in their educational pursuits. And it is not surprising why, because they prepare. No one goes to write an exam without preparations. But for some reasons, these things that concerns our life, even our spiritual life and our destiny, we don't prepare for it. You just want to be in marriage without preparation. So we have come to a point where we regard our careers as more important than marriage. So we prepare for our careers, we prepare for our educational pursuits, we prepare for everything that we want to achieve in life. If you want to buy Mercedes, whatever, you make sure you study, you don't sleepless nights so that you achieve that goal. But when it comes to marriage, we have never read even one book. You don't know, you don't even ask for counseling, but you're already in. Why is it like that? So I would advise people that don't do that. What you need to do is prepare yourself before you enter in.
Yeah, maybe just say the YouTube channel again. The one you're saying, it's what?
Oh, it's Trumpet Ntsako Ministry.
Trumpet.
Or
it's a-
Trumpet's Ministry, actually, it's Trumpet's Ministry.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I will, yeah. Anything from a female? You just did history. You're the second female on this podcast. The first one, you're the second one. Yeah.
So I would say relationships are, we all need relationships. We all need good relationships. So it's very, very, very important for us to be aware of getting into a relationship that is wrong, because a relationship can lead you to hell. You have to find a relationship that can lead you to heaven. So don't be flattered. As a woman, I'd say don't be flattered when a guy tells you, oh, I can't live without you. When someone says that, you must be able to, reason and be like, how can you not live without me when you met me 2 weeks ago? You see? So the person who has the right to say, I cannot live without you, is people who have been married for like 20 years, because they've discovered that, hey, wait, I actually can't live without this person. You see? So love is a plant which grows watered by the love that you get from God. So you cannot enter a relationship, you cannot expect to enter a relationship without God and expect to love that person without God. God is the one that waters your plant. That's why a relationship is depicted like a triangle. There's God on top of the triangle, and the two corners, it's you and that person, which shows that God is the one that waters your relationship with love. So you cannot enter a relationship without having true love from Christ. And I would also say, if there are people out there who are complaining about Adventist men and Adventist women, I'd say it's because we are not ready for each other, which is why we just keep breaking each other's hearts. Women are they cannot control their emotions sometimes, actually maybe even all the time, which is why men think logically. So when they encounter a woman who is an emotional person, their logic they don't understand each other. So they have to come to a point where, they're able to balance, you see. So with women, I would say you must be able to come to a point where you are emotionally intelligent. Don't be a baby. Don't be, I don't know how to explain it, but don't be so petty and, always want the guy close to you. Have your own individuality as well, you see. And I would even say, show the guy that you are fine either way, with or without him.
Very important.
It's very important to show him that. Don't show him that you're so dependent on him. Because then if you show him that you are dependent on him, then what is God to you? You see, you must show that your first love should be Christ. So, and the guy should be mature enough to also understand that. If he doesn't understand that, then I don't think that's the right person. If he doesn't understand that you prioritize your relationship with God more than you prioritize your relationship with anyone else. If he doesn't understand that, then
It's not for you.
he's not the right person. So even with guys, they should be able to show that, you know what, as much as I prioritize you, I also prioritize my relationship with Christ. So I would say be ready emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially as well. Actually, I think it's 1 Timothy 5 verse 8 where it says, a guy who cannot provide for his own family is worse than an infidel, which means he's worse than an unbeliever. So before you rush into a relationship, first fix your financial issues and then be able to show that you can handle a family. Don't just rush into a relationship. Paul actually even says, if you don't want to have all these problems, just become like me, who never got, any problems with relationships, buying pampers for the children, buying groceries. He was just a free man, you see. So don't rush, leave it to the Lord and he will help you. And yeah, I would say the book that actually helps me a lot is, of course, from the Spirit of Prophecies, Letters to Young Lovers, Adventist Home, and I forgot the other ones. Oh, Messages to Young People as well. And there's also another book, which is called Youth, Are You Preparing for Your Divorce?, which is written by the Standish Brothers. So what that book basically says, it says what you are doing now, because relationships are more of like character preparation. You have to prepare your character for that relationship. So it means if there are still some things that you haven't yet fixed yourself with, that can lead to divorce. You see, they're just those minor character defects. If you haven't yet overcome those defects, that can lead to a divorce. So yeah, it's very important that we get ready for relationships.
Yeah. Any closing remarks?
Yes, just remember that God says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else shall be added unto you. Everything else includes your emotional needs, your love needs, your relational needs are encountered there. Just focus on Jesus. Jesus will give you everything else. Focus on him. He'll sort you out. Adam was not the one to say, this is not good. It was God himself who said, this is not good. And before God has said, God, it is not good for you to be alone, being with anyone else will be a disaster. Wait for God himself to say that. And then number 2, there's the book she's recommended, Youth, Are You Preparing for Divorce? You can get a copy of that book if you go to www.purelightmissions.org, our website. You can order a copy for yourself. Or on our website, you can get our contacts there and call us. We will definitely figure out how to get you a copy of that book. And then another book recommendation, I do not remember the author, but it simply states that I kissed dating goodbye. In John Henry, I think. It's also a good, Joshua Henry. I think it's also a good resource material. Above all else, look at the relations in the Bible and take the principles. Take the principles and see how to apply them.
Yeah. Mr. Josh, Mr. Nsako. Fano. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah. From the Them and Chats, we out, yeah? Kezo.